a whole lot just went down today. Now, as you already know, prior to today, there were 8 head coaching vacancies. As of today, there are 9 head coaching vacancies because the one, the only, Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to step down from his head coaching position with the Steelers after 19 seasons. So the original reason this video was going to be made and go out is to talk about the hot seat that Mike Tomlin was sitting in, along with 3 other head coaches that made it to the playoffs this year, but all lost in the first round, just like Mike Tomlin did. So that is the setting of the stage. We're still going to talk about the hot seats that these other 3 head coaches are in, and also the pervert or the metaphorically speaking hot seat that Mike Tomlin would have been in if he was still a part of the Steelers. But I wanted to set the stage there for you. Now, the playoffs, we are just done with the wild card round of the playoffs. Next weekend, we'll be going into the divisional round. So keep this in mind. There were 14 teams who made it into the playoffs this year. We played 6 games this past weekend in the wild card round. That means 12 teams played. 6 of them won, 6 of them lost. That means there are 6 head coaches that lost in the very first round of the playoffs, in the wild card round. I'm only going to be talking about, originally, I was going to be talking about 4 of them, but now there's 3 head coaches that lost in the first round that might be on a bit of a hot seat. There are 2 coaches, however, we will not be really discussing in full length because they just aren't there in that situation right now. And those 2 coaches are going to be the head coaches for the Carolina Panthers and the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars, their head coach, this is their first season as a head coach with that team, and they made it into the playoffs. So you can't fault that head coach for their success or failure, or I should say, you can't judge him off just one season, especially when you make it to the playoffs. He is safe. The Carolina Panthers head coach, this is his second season with the head coach. His first season, they were terrible. They were like a 5-12 team, I want to say. Something bad, something real bad. They only had like 5 wins. This season, they improved. They still had a losing record. But what is interesting is that even though they had a losing record at 8-9, they still won their division with the losing record and made it into the playoffs with their losing record. So you can't fire a head coach after he takes you from a severely losing record of, say, let's say 5-12. Gets you to 8-9, wins the division, and makes it into the playoffs. So he is safe as well. So the 3 head coaches on top of Mike Tomlin we're going to be talking about.
I have a question.
You have a question? Oh, it is.
Are you saying you figuratively you can't fire somebody who did that for you, or are you saying literally there's safeguards in place where...
No. There is no literal safeguards in place.
Okay.
Anybody can be fired at any time for anything.
Got you. But it's not wise.
It would,
because,
yes.
Okay.
Publicly speaking and organizationally speaking, it wouldn't, unless there was like some underlying problem that we don't know about. Like sometimes every now and again, like a coach will have personal problems like substance abuse and things like that, and they'll end up getting fired after a season. But if you take a team from bad to good, win the division and make it to the playoffs, you should be safe as a head coach. It isn't 1,000% true, but it is going to be true in this case for sure. The other 3 coaches on top of Mike Tomlin that we're going to be talking about is of course the Philadelphia Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni, the LA Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh. I'm going to get those 2 confused all day long, and I need to look that up real quick so I don't get confused. And the Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. Just to recap, next weekend it's going to be San Fran taking on the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be the Rams taking on the Bears. It's going to be the Bills taking on the Broncos. And it's going to be the Texans taking on the New England Patriots. All right. So I was going to start this video off going from least hot to most hot seat. And I was actually going to finish with Mike Tomlin. But of course, because he has decided to step down once again after 19 seasons with the team, I'm going to start with Mike Tomlin. So let's take a look at this little graphic of his career stats. So again, 19 seasons. He started as a head coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2007. He has an overall regular season record of 193 wins to 114 losses and 2 ties. So that gives him a 628 winning percentage. His playoff record is 8 wins and 12 losses, which is a 400 win percentage. Now, that is the first thing that if he was still with the team, we'd have to look at and be like, well, is that an acceptable playoff record? 8 wins, 12 losses. It's under 500. It's a losing record. So that's not great. But a winning record of the regular season of 193 wins to 114 losses, which is a 628 winning record, which is pretty good. Here's the big thing. After 19 seasons, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season ever. He's always made it to 500 or above. Now, of course, he coached prior to there being 17 games. There used to be 16 games in a season. They changed that for the 2022 season. So you could end your record as a team could be 8-8 for forever. So he has some seasons on here where his team went 8-8, and that is the worst his team ever performed. 8-8, exactly 500. Other than that, he's never had a losing record through 19 seasons, which is absolutely unheard of. I'm not sure any other coach can claim such a thing as that. Now, here's the thing that might, if he was still coaching, might make his seat a little bit warm, if you will. 2016 was the last time he won a playoff game. His team won a playoff game. So that's what, 2016 to 2025? That is almost 10 years since he last won a playoff game. That's not good. And in the past 7 seasons, he's made it to the playoffs every single year, but he's lost in the very first round of the playoffs.
Interesting.
He is a regular season champion. He's going to get you a winning record. He's going to get you into the playoffs, but he's going to lose. Also, what I have highlighted here are the 2 seasons he did, in fact, take his team to the Super Bowl. In 2008 and 2010. They won it in 2008 with a 12-4 record, but they made it to the Super Bowl again in 2010 with a 12-4 record, but they lost that year in the Super Bowl. So what you'll notice here is that it was literally his second year coaching that he made it to the Super Bowl and won. So 19 seasons. So the past 17, he hasn't been able to get a Super Bowl championship. It's just very interesting that he's been a coach for 19 seasons with the same team, and it was in his second season that he had the most success.
Do you think it's complacency after winning that one year?
I do not think it's complacency, because if it was, he would have had some losing records in there, and he would have eventually been fired before now. He's clearly done enough, because they've got, if we're looking at this graphic, 2009, after the Super Bowl, they went 9-7. But again, in 2010, he went 12-4. 2011, he went 12-4 again. So he's had really good seasons. He's had a couple 11-5 seasons. He had a 13-3 season in 2017. He had another 12-4 season in 2020. And these past 3 seasons, he's gone 10-7, 10-7, 10-7. So he's getting his team to good records. So it's not that he's just like not caring or not trying. That's not the issue. There are other issues at hand that we do not know of or are aware of. So I would have argued that Mike Tomlin would have had the hottest seat of all the coaches remaining in the league based on the fact that he hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. And that's insane to think that you've been a coach that long and haven't been able to make it to the playoffs. In no other situation would a NFL team have a head coach that has not won a playoff game in almost 10 years, and that person would still be the head coach. So that is the Mike Tomlin situation. Again, he's stepping down. The expectation, well, everybody is theorizing what he's going to do next. Who's going to replace him? Is he going to go coach somewhere else? Is he going to go take a job as a TV analyst for a while, as essentially a paid vacation, if you will?
Do you know how old he is?
He is 53 years old, so he's not even very old now. He's 53. So, yeah, he's got plenty of time to go find another coaching job if he so chooses.
Yeah.
Now, here's my hypothesis. And you can mark it down in your books. I was thinking about this morning before he decided to stepped down from his job. I theorized that he was going to be fired this week, which he was not, but he's gone. He stepped down. I hypothesized he would be fired and he would be replaced by John Harbaugh, the former Baltimore Ravens head coach. Because I feel like those are the same type of coaches that they like to have in Pittsburgh. Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. Those are those three people are exactly the same. They have the same type of styles. They have the same type of mentality. So I think that was my prediction. Tomlin out, Harbaugh in as the Steelers head coach. So that is my prediction as to what's going to happen in Pittsburgh.
Tell me about the disposition of those coaches. Like, what is it that's the same about them?
They are very, what would be a good way of, like, not a little bit stern, stoic, very defensive minded, kind of nose to the grindstone. We show up, we're blue collar, we show up to work and we outwork other teams, we out physical other teams and those types of things.
Got it.
They're not like big rah-rah cheerleader guys. They're not guys that are going to have like super high-flying offenses and things like that.
Okay.
Who is next on the hot seat list? If I am making this list, my theory would be the least hottest of the seats would be going to the Green Bay Packers head coach, Matt LaFleur. And as a matter of fact, there's also been reports that he is allegedly in contract extension talks. But let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this graphic of Matt LaFleur's career with the Green Bay Packers. He's been with the Packers for 7 seasons now. He has an overall regular season record of 76 wins, 40 losses, and 1 tie, which of course was to the Cowboys of this season. So that puts him at a .654 winning percentage, which is better than Mike Tomlin. His playoff record is even worse than Mike Tomlin, though. His playoff record is 3 wins and 6 losses. That gives him a point. That gives him a .333 winning percentage in the playoffs, which is not good at all. Now, however, he has taken his team in his 7 seasons. He's been to the playoffs 6 of those 7 seasons. That's pretty impressive. He's also taken his team to 2 NFC championship games. That's pretty impressive. Never been to the Super Bowl, but he's made it to 2 NFC championships. So if we look at his record, he's gone 13-3, 13-3, 13-4, had an 8-9 losing record in 2020. That was his worst season. Then he went 9-8, 11-6, 9-7-1 this year. So every single year except for 2020 where they had a losing record, he's made it to the playoffs. He lost in the NFC Championship his first 2 seasons, lost in the divisional round after that, lost in the divisional round again after the losing record. And these past 2 seasons, he's lost in the wild card round. Now, that's a lot of success, but it's also getting to a point where it's like 7 seasons. You've gotten us right to the edge, but you haven't gotten us over that edge.
Right.
And also on top of that, your success has technically gone down year after year. You started out your first 2 seasons on fire, going to the NFC Championship games. The 3rd season, you went to the NFC Divisional round, which is 1 round less. You did that for 2 seasons, and now your past 2 seasons, you've gone to the wild card and lost, which is a round before that, before the divisional round. So he's done 2 seasons of championships, 2 seasons of divisional rounds, 2 seasons of losing the wild card. What happens next? 2 seasons of not making it to the playoffs?
Well, I feel like this story is similar to the previous guy you were saying, like when he first, was it his 2nd year that he won the Super Bowl and then it just waned from there? Like maybe they feel like they have something to prove when they first come in.
Maybe.
What accounts for it going down after that?
Well, you could say for Mike Tomlin, you would make the argument that the reason why his success was early on is because of his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. He had a really good quarterback, carried them to the Super Bowl a couple times, won 1 of them. Ever since Ben Roethlisberger, they have yet to replace him with an equally competent quarterback.
Gotcha. Okay.
Even now. And then you could kind of make the same argument with Matt LaFleur from Green Bay. He, of course, took over with Aaron Rodgers still there, but he took over when it was at a point where Rodgers was kind of on the outs with the team in general. And then, of course, they were starting making that transition to Jordan Love. And we've been trying to prop up and promote Jordan Love as one of the next best quarterbacks, but he seems to be getting worse. So we'll see. I think, though, ultimately, I think Matt LaFleur with the Packers will be safe. The next head coach we're going to look at is going to be the LA Chargers head coach, which is going to be Jim Harbaugh, of course, the brother of John Harbaugh. Now, when I looked up Jim Harbaugh, I was surprised to find out that he's only been the head coach for 2 seasons with the Chargers. Mm. However, there is a case to be made that he's on a bit of a hot seat. And he is the coach that I've heard the least of, nationally speaking. But I've heard a couple whispers and rumors and a couple murmurings of, hey, what's Jim Harbaugh really going to be able to do here? And part of that stems from the maybe the overhyping that we've put on Justin Herbert, their quarterback, who might not be really the great savior that he was, deemed to be at one point. So in his 2 seasons as the Chargers head coach, he went 22-12, which is a .647 win percentage, which is a pretty good winning percentage. However, his playoff record, guess what his winning percentage is? In just 2 seasons. Take a wild guess at what it is.
I have no concept of those kinds of things. So you're going to tell me.
0.
What?
So 2 seasons, he made it to the playoff both times, but he's lost both times that he's made it to the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
So yes, great. You've been the head coach for 2 seasons. You made it to the playoffs for 2 seasons. You're doing good. And also on top of that, he did take the Chargers. The first season he took over, he took the Chargers from being last place in their division to being second place in their division. Both these past 2 seasons, the Chargers have finished second in their division. So it is something to say that, hey, I took your team from being the worst in the division to at least being the second best. Now, we got to get to, when are we going to get to winning that division and getting past that wild card round, though?
Yeah, he has some kudos. I'm just wondering, so what it is, whatever it takes to get them to the playoffs, it's some other gas in the tank to get a win. There's something, a whole other thing. It's like a whole different league. Yes. So what's happening there? Does it really come down to the players?
Theoretically speaking, yes, everybody, takes it to the next notch when it gets to the playoffs. Everybody starts playing harder. Everybody starts competing, harder and things like that. But it just becomes more competitive. The cream rises to the top. Everything else kind of falls by the wayside. So the fact that they're finishing second place in their division kind of means they're not even the best. Well, it doesn't kind of. It means that they are not the best even in their division. Now it's a very strong division because they're making it into the playoffs at 11-6, and to go at 11-6 and not win a division, that tells you that division is very strong. That the first place team is getting more than 11 wins. Normally, you would say 11 wins would probably win you a division. Think about the Carolina Panthers in the NFC South. I think it is. They won their record They won their division with a losing record at 8-9. So there's something to say for that. But his seat is getting a little warm. It's starting to tingle. I think Matt LaFleur is pretty much 100% safe, even though I know there's some national news, some national noise about, hey, is he the man to really get it done in Green Bay? If they give him an extension, then there's no question about it. He's going to be sticking around. I think the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh is fairly safe, but I think it's starting to tingle. He's starting to, if this is the same situation next year, losing the wild card, or they don't even make it to the playoffs, then you're going to really start hearing some noise. Now, here's the interesting one, though, and that's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles with Nick Sirianni. He's been the head coach there for 5 seasons. And mind you, I am a lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan, so I hate the Philadelphia Eagles as they are a division rival of ours. Objectively speaking, though, I would argue that he should have the least hot seat of any coach. But for whatever reason, Philadelphia fans absolutely want him fired. They want their OC fired. They want their wide receiver cut from the team. They want a lot. They want the whole change, which Philadelphia Eagles did fire their offensive coordinator. The Chargers did fire their offensive coordinator as well. If I forgot to mention that, can't remember. But both the Chargers and Eagles fire their offensive coordinators. Now, listen to this. Let's see if this makes sense to you. And I promise you, national media is talking about this. Their local fans are talking about this. Everybody's talking about fire Nick Sirianni, cut Jalen Hurts, get rid of everybody, start over. That's all the news. Everybody is screaming and yelling about this. So Nick Sirianni, 5 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. His overall regular season record is 59-26, and that is a .694 winning percentage. And guess what? That is the highest winning percentage of all of these coaches, all 4 of these coaches.
Wow.
He has the highest regular season winning percentage. His playoff record, take a guess at what his playoff record is.
5 seasons, could it possibly be... Wait, don't tell me. 60%, maybe?
That's right on.
Oh, it is? Yeah. No.
He has a .600 win percentage. He is of these 4 coaches, he's the only one with a winning percentage in the postseason. He has gone 6-4 in the postseason for .600 winning percentage, 60%. His playoff appearance every single season, he's made it to the playoffs in his 5 seasons. Guess how many Super Bowls he's been to in 5 seasons?
In 5 seasons, would it be 3?
Oh, close. He's been to 2 Super Bowls in 5 seasons. He's won one, lost the other. Now, remember, Mike Tomlin, 19 seasons, 2 Super Bowl appearances. Mike Tomlin won one. Mike Tomlin lost one. So in 5 seasons, Nick Sirianni has done what Mike Tomlin did in 19 seasons. And it is without question that Mike Tomlin is like this legendary coaching figure. However, in Philadelphia, they want Nick Sirianni gone after 5 seasons. This is his record. 2021, 9-8. They lost in the wild card. 2022, 14-3. They lost in the Super Bowl in his second season. 2023, he went 11-6, lost in the wild card. 2024, they went 14-3 and won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So 2 seasons ago, they won the Super Bowl. This year, they went 11-6 and lost again in the wild card. So it's gone wild card, Super Bowl, wild card, Super Bowl, wild card for Nick Sirianni.
So are they not attributing the wins to him? Is there a certain player there, or why would he be?
Philadelphia fans are insane. That is all there is to it. They don't understand.
And did the person before him perform better? Like why?
Worse. No.
So I don't understand why they're. If this is comparatively, this seems to be like a good.
This is great. No, this is not good. This is great. 5 seasons. Playoffs every single season, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl victory. Any team wants that.
I have no idea what is it. There has to be rumors of something going on.
No, I am telling you, this is how insane the Philadelphia Eagles media, their local media, and their fans are. That they are screaming and yelling and melting down that this guy should be fired.
You can't win for losing with that.
Yes, that is correct.
Like what?
And again, coming from a Cowboys fan who has now not been to a Super Bowl since 1995, I would kill for 5 seasons of this.
Wow. Interesting.
It's very interesting.
What do they have? What basis do they have? I just don't understand where this vitriol could come from when you... It's
just to me, my assessment of it is that they were 14-3, won the Super Bowl. So the expectation is that they should have gone 14-3 and won the Super Bowl this year as well, because they have essentially the same team they had last year.
So it's the inconsistency that's unbearable. It's just
they have what last year was the best running back in the league and was an absolute video game character. And he was absolutely embarrassing people on the field and was running for thousands of yards. That did not happen this year. Last year, their quarterback was Super Bowl MVP. He won the MVP of the Super Bowl last year. This year, they want him run out of town because he can't throw the football and he doesn't run enough and things like that. It is just a super overreaction. And to say, I want a coach after 5 seasons who's won a Super Bowl, been to 2 of them, and gone to the playoffs every single year, I want that coach fired. That is insanity. But because of that, because of the media attention that he's getting locally and nationally, that alone puts him on the hot seat. And the irrationality of Philadelphia as an organization and as a city, that puts him to be on the hottest seat of all coaches still, or of all the coaches that made it to the playoffs.
So what are the people saying? Are the people saying this is ridiculous for the fans to want him on the chopping block?
I think it's ridiculous. I think the local fans, the Philadelphia fans, think, no, they absolutely want him gone. I also think, though, that people are buying into that mentality of wanting him gone irrationally. I think people are, what do you call it, drinking the Kool-Aid and saying, yeah, this guy needs to be fired. Look at what he's done. Look at what he's done, indeed. And it's insane. It's insane that anybody would even whisper, hey, this guy needs to go.
Right. Interesting.
But again, the fact that they did fire their offensive coordinator, that might lend to the fact that he's going to stick around, and they're using the OC as the reason as to why they did not have success, because they had their previous offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, former Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator, that they won the Super Bowl with. He left and became the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, which, of course, they had a horrible season. But it's his first season there, so he's not really on the hot seat either, coming off a Super Bowl win as offensive coordinator, so he'll be good as well. Those are your hot seat coaches in the league right now. Again, we have 9 head coaching vacancies. Let's say Philadelphia fires Nick Sirianni. That'll be 10 head coaching vacancies. That will literally be a third of the league is looking for head coaches. And I'm telling you, there are not enough quality head coaches to fill those positions. Everybody, I could apply for a head coaching position right now, might get a head coaching job. Like, anybody who applies is getting a job, just because there's not that many head coaches out there to fill 9 or 10 spots. It's crazy. But yeah, super, super interesting day. So many things are happening. And nobody has been hired yet. That's also very important to note. Nobody has been hired yet. Everybody's getting interviews. Harbaugh was interviewed by the Falcons. So there's a lot of teams that are interviewing, but nobody's been officially hired yet.